At a red light, you see a shiny SUV, a designer watch, and a payment hiding behind the glass. The familiar belief says that driver is winning, but sometimes the quiet car next to it carries the real fortune. By the end, you'll see why looking poor can become one of your strongest financial superpowers. Now, looking poor does not mean living badly, neglecting yourself, or pretending to struggle. It means refusing to turn your income, savings, or success into a public performance. Superpower number 1, you become invisible to the spending machine built around status. That machine is everywhere. Car lots, phone ads, restaurants, watches, shoes, home upgrades, and subscription buttons. It whispers that if you can afford something once, you should carry it every month. A $700 car payment is $84,000 over 10 years before fuel, repairs, insurance, or growth. A paid-off older car may look boring, but boring can leave $700 a month breathing room. When you stop buying applause, you stop sending your future income to impress people in traffic. And that leads to the second power: your money stays available for opportunities. People who look expensive often have money already spoken for before it arrives. You may look ordinary, but your checking account can stay flexible, calm, and ready. A $3,000 repair is a crisis when every dollar has a job assigned by yesterday's lifestyle. But if you avoided a few upgrades, that same $3,000 may simply be annoying. The quiet person can buy when prices fall, help family wisely, or leave a bad job sooner. Looking poor gives you a hidden reserve, and hidden reserves are what keep life from owning you. The third power is harder to notice, but it may save you the most money. When your income rises, lifestyle inflation tries to rise faster and call itself success. A $500 monthly raise feels wonderful until a bigger apartment, car, and dinners consume $650. That is how someone earns more, feels richer, and quietly moves backward. If you keep the old car, old watch, and ordinary lunch, the raise finally has somewhere useful to go. Even $300 a month is $36,000 in a decade before any growth at all. That gap between what you can afford and what you display is where quiet wealth is born. The fourth power shows up in your closet, your driveway, and even your phone. The more impressive your things are, the sooner they begin asking to be replaced. A phone that works for 4 years instead of 2 can free hundreds, sometimes over $1,000. Clothes chosen for durability, not compliments, age quietly, and do not demand constant upgrades. A modest home is not just a smaller mortgage, it may mean lower furnishing pressure too. One luxury purchase often recruits other purchases to make the first one feel normal. Ordinary things protect you because ordinary things are not constantly trying to start a parade. The fifth power is social, and it is more important than most people admit. When you look rich, other people often assume your money is available for their expectations. You may get more invitations, more pressure to split costly bills, and more requests for help. When you look modest, you create a natural boundary before a conversation even begins. If one dinner habit costs $90 instead of $30, doing it twice a month is $1,340 a year. Looking poor lets you say without drama that simple is what you prefer. It also filters relationships because people who value the display may drift away. The sixth power is privacy, and privacy is becoming more valuable every year. Visible wealth attracts attention, and attention can become sales pressure, envy, scams, or obligations. A plain life gives less information to people who do not need your financial details. Even online, every luxury post can teach strangers what you own, where you go, and what you value. Quiet wealth is not secrecy from loved ones, it is discretion with the outside world. There is a privacy dividend, fewer pictures, fewer judgments, and fewer people counting your money. Peace has a financial value even when it does not appear on a bank statement. The seventh power is the one that compounds quietly while everyone else is watching appearances. Every dollar you do not spend on display can become a worker instead of a souvenir. For example, from a $200 left to grow for 30 years at 5% becomes about $5,000. That could be 1 year of skipped upgrades or a few expensive dinners you never truly missed. If you redirect $400 a month, that is $48,000 over 10 years before growth. The future you does not care whether your old jacket impressed anyone in a grocery store. The future you cares whether money bought time, choices, medical flexibility, and less worry. So far, looking poor has protected your cash, privacy, relationships, and compounding power. But there is one deeper change. You stop asking objects to prove your worth. That is when frugality stops feeling like deprivation and starts feeling like strength. You learn the difference between enough, useful, beautiful, and merely impressive. This does not mean you never enjoy money. It means enjoyment survives the morning after. A good pair of shoes you wear for 5 years may be quiet wealth. A flashy pair you regret in 3 months may be poverty dressed as confidence. Here is a simple filter. Would you still buy it if nobody could see it? Would you still want it if the brand name disappeared and only the usefulness remained? Would you buy it again if it delayed freedom by 6 months? That question hurts, which is why it works. It makes the hidden cost visible. Start with the most public category in your life: car, clothes, phone, home, or dining. Choose one place to look less impressive than you can afford on purpose. Then move the difference immediately so the money does not leak into something else. If the cheaper choice saves $150 a month, that is $18,000 over 10 years before growth. Do not announce it. Quiet wealth loses some power when it becomes another performance. The goal is not to look needy. The goal is to look unbothered. Real luxury may be sleeping well because no purchase is chasing you into next month. After 45, the scoreboard changes. Freedom matters more than being mistaken for successful. If people underestimate you, let them. Underestimation can be a very comfortable place to save. Looking poor is not the absence of wealth. Sometimes it is the camouflage that protects it. And if that gives your future self more peace, then quiet may be the richest look you own.